Right, so my name is Marizona, and I feel so good to be back on the show. Particularly, there's a lot to talk about. We'll take a look at the biggest stories making rounds in the all-exciting industry called football. Okay, sure. Let's just take you through some of the key talking points. We take a look at what's happening from the Nigerian scene. Rashida Tajibade talking very tough ahead of the Super Falcons' second game at the FIFA Women's World Cup coming up on Thursday. The girl is speaking, and of course, she is ready to take the world by storm. She missed the first game of the competition, and that was due to a suspension from the WAFCON 2021, but she's back and better, and I said, well, ready to fight. Well, away from all of that, we talk about the CAF Champions League and Confederations Cup. The draws are set. Well, this is going to be some tricky ties. Going to be some interesting movement towards qualifying for the tournament proper for Remo Stars and Enyimba the CAF Champions League and Bendel Insurance as well as Rivers United in the CAF Confederations Cup. We talk about the teams that they are yet to face in the different competitions and, of course, take you through their chances of qualifying for the competition proper. And, of course, we take a look at transfers from the European scene. We'll talk about Kylian Mbappe this afternoon. It's confirmed that Saudi Arabia have come for the man and they've come in full force. £700 million a year if he stays, if he moves to Saudi Arabia, and he's going to sign just a one-year contract with the club and still fulfills his dream of playing for Real Madrid next season. Will Mbappe go to Saudi Arabia right now? It's a question for the afternoon. All of that will form the crux of the conversation. Well, of course, we take a look at interesting transfer stories making rounds. We hear Anthony Elanga has left Manchester United to join up with Nottingham Forest. Chelsea rejected a £40 million bid for Conor Gallagher. And, of course, Lionel Messi confirmed new captain of Inter Miami. And we'll talk about football legends. We hear that they lost an appeal against FIFA over the new regulations. To talk about that and so much more on the show this afternoon. Welcome once again. My name once again is Marizona. And I've got Blyder who came for company. He's going to join very soon. Emmanuel Ekwe is also going to join very soon. And of course, I've got UT David for company. And together, we'll do justice to everything that's in the plate. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. The numbers to give you the chance to be a part of the show. Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to go down. All right, so the conversation starts right now. We have to begin from the CAF Champions League and the Confederations Cup. The draws were held earlier this afternoon, and Nigeria's representatives in the CAF Champions League will start there. Enyimba and Remo Stars have been drawn with clubs from Libya and Ghana, respectively. The draw took place today in Cairo, the capital of Egypt, and it was witnessed by the attendance of 54 participating clubs who had qualified to participate in the first preliminary stage from the 42 member nations. All right, it's a tricky story for both sides. During the draws, Enyimba, who are the reigning and PFL champions, were drawn against Libyan side Ali Benghazi. The Abala Lords, as they're called, or the People's Elephant, if you like, have a glimpse of what to expect from the Libyan teams. Many vividly recollect Enyimba were defeated during their last participation in the CAF Interclub competition by Al Ittihad, another Libyan side, who sent them packing in the knockout phase of the competition. On the other hand, debutant Remo Stars will be wrestling it out against Ghana League leaders Medeama for progression to the second stage of the Champions League. As indicated in Tuesday's draw, in today's draw, the winner between Enyimba and Ali Benghazi will get a chance to play either the Republic-based Cotton Sports or ASEC Mimosas for the second preliminary round of the competition. Should Remo Stars defeat the Ghanaian counterparts, they would face Guinea side Horoya in the second stage of the competition. Well, the first round matches are scheduled to be played within 18th to the 20th of August 2023 in Libya and Ghana, respectively, for Ayimba and, of course, for Remo Stars. Well, UT, it's a crazy story, but first of all, Ayimba take on Ali Benghazi. Remo Stars, who are here for the first time in their lives, in their history, take on Mediama FC, two established clubs in Africa. What do you make of the draws for the two teams in the CAF Champions League?
Okay, I think it would be quite a difficult one, particularly as it has to do with Ali Benghazi facing out with Enyimba. Yes, we've always talked about this dominance of the Northern African sides and how far they've actually developed their games as well. When you talk about CAF competitions, either the CAF Confederations Cup or the CAF Champions League, we've always talked about the North African sides doing very well, and it's of course it would be an equivalent tax for the champions, the current champions of the Nigerian Premier League, to do well, qualify from this phase stage, go to the second preliminary stage, and then we'll talk about the group stages of the CAF Champions League. So for the People's Elephants at this time, they have it at the back of their minds that it won't just be a stroll over the park. I mean, a stroll in the park for them. It would actually be a game where they will have to sweat it out, where they will have to fight for, and of course do something really, really handy. Last season we saw them in the CAF Champions League. They were actually knocked out to the CAF Confederations Cup, and they couldn't do well as well. So this should be some level of motivation for them. This is a new season, the preliminary stage, and it actually starts now. If you start early, you get that level of momentum that you can actually do well if you go to the group stages of the competition. So at this time, they have it at the back of their minds that it would be quite a difficult battle on the pitch of play.
All right, so let's just do a brief preview of the clubs taking on Nigerian teams in the competition. Let's begin with Ayimba's opponent, Al Ali Benghazi. The full name of the club is Al Ali Sports Cultural and Social Club, and it's based in the Libyan city of Benghazi. Al Ali has its roots in a political party, the Omar Al-Mukhtar political party, but that's not for us to know. Let's talk about the one star we need to know, and that's their participation in CAF competitions, at least since they became a football club. By the way, they've won the Libyan Premier League 4 times: 1969, 1971, 1974, and recently 1992. They've been runners-up in the league for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, and of course have come to the semi-finals of the league championship. How many times now? 6 times particularly. Let's look at CAF competitions and their performance. In 1971, in the CAF Champions League, they couldn't go past the first round. 1973, couldn't go past the second round. In 1976, they couldn't go past the first round. In 2010, they couldn't cross the preliminary rounds. In 2014, they went all the way from the group stages to the quarterfinals. In 2018-19 season, they couldn't go past the first round, and in 2020-2021, they couldn't go past the first round. So obviously, they are first rounders in the CAF Champions League, and if you want to look at it from that perspective, you think and you believe that Ayimba has got a chance against this team. But also in the CAF Confederations Cup, they've only played that competition only once in 2009, and they couldn't go past the first round of competition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the big man walks in with his 3-piece suit, fine and shining. All right, Joe Blyden, just to fill in on what's happening, Ayimba have been given a draw, a tricky draw. I don't know what you would call it, but
North Africa?
Libya, Blyden, Libya, North Africa, Al Ali Benghazi, and I just reeled out their starts and their performance in CAF competitions. Not so impressive. Do we have a chance?
Mali is quite difficult for me, especially when it has to do with North African side, the Benghazi side in Libya. They're a top side no matter what we want to talk about. For me, start sometimes and get to count all the time.
All right, now, no intent to cut you, Blyden. What exactly is our problem with North African sides?
Because they're top sides. Whether it's Tunisia, whether it's Morocco, whether it's Libya, the decent sides. They have a culture of football, which we do not have. That's the conversation. Remember the last time we met a Libyan side? It was in the Confederations Cup also.
Yeah, the last time Ayimba met a Libyan side, they crashed out in the knockout phase of this competition.
Absolutely. But Nigerian champions, I would say, early stage of the competition, they have a chance. My question would be, have not gone through that list, Mari. I would want to know who plays last at home. The second leg, who plays at home? Because it's always very definitive.
Blyden, there you go again with this, your whole place at home gist.
Well, Mari, it's worked out. The last time I talked about it, we saw it. Nigerian side couldn't qualify as long as they were playing at home. They were playing away in the second leg. Because it's very critical. Yes, you have to perform in the first leg first. And I've always questioned CAF and all these sectors. Why not African sides get to play the second leg at home? Because the first leg is an opener. You barely know the side. You're trying to add up the numbers and figure out what gets to happen. After the first leg, you realize what the consequence is, and you begin to build up what you need to do moving forward with all the antics that's happening in African football. But I think it's a difficult one while you're going through the checking procedure, Mari. It's a difficult one for Enyimba. But is there nothing Enyimba can do to go through? They've got history, they've got pedigree, and they're a top footballing side. I want to see what they perform moving forward in this, and they're Nigerian champions. The onions is on them to qualify, but the opponent is a top side.
All right, well, UT, let's talk about Rebel Stars and the opponents as well. Rebel Stars take on Medium FC. By the way, for Enyimba Football Club, if they get past the opponents are Ali Benghazi,
they've got playing away from home the first leg.
They're playing away from home in the first leg.
Yeah.
So, Blythen, I hope you have indicated. I hope you have hope.
If they don't qualify, then they are such a terrible team.
All right. Now, if they qualify, they would face a more tougher draw. The second preliminary rounds, they would have to take on. I have to confirm that for you. Yeah, take on either Cotton Sports or ASEC Mimosas for the final qualification round. That's even more tricky.
Well, I think it's not as tricky as playing a North African side for me. ASEC Mimosas.
Now, is this just a thing of North African sides or sides who are better than us?
Look, Mari.
Because Rivers United last season were not pushed out by North African side.
I agree, Mari.
Yeah, so it was a case of the younger side better than Rivers United.
It's always been about performing on the big stage.
Exactly.
For Nigerian teams.
But there's also culture somewhere. You have to look at it. Mari, look at it. How many times have Nigerian sides survived?
So the North African sides and the only sides have got culture.
No, you have to look at history. How many times you get to survive against the North African side? That's why it's usually concerning. But come on, ASEC Mimosa is the top side in African football. I know that. Cotton Sport of Cameroon, a decent side too, one way or the other. But there's a similar culture in that football. That's what I'm talking about. So when you have this similarity in culture, you can also identify the kind of football and create your own kind of antics and see how you can pass through at the end of it. But it gets difficult with Northern African side.
I think away from the dynamics of, the culture of the football teams in, several countries, I'll also have to, of course, draw our minds back to the quality of our league as well, because that has over time been the case.
Yeah.
That has over time been the case. I could vividly recall whenever Nigerian teams meet on the continent of Africa, they always match rusty. We have our leagues, finishing before the competitions. And most times, they even have to engage in friendly matches before they go to the continent. So that's why we've always been struggling. So the moment we start fixing this, which I think that the new board are trying to fix it up, we'll definitely have a more consistent.
It's an evolving conversation. We'll definitely talk about the chances of these teams and the conversation of North African football being better than all of that. Well, let's talk about Mediama FC of Ghana. Well, they're going to be the opponents of Remo Stars in the CAF Champions League first preliminary round. Mediama Sporting Club is a Ghanaian professional football league side based in Takwa, Western Region in Ghana. The club was formerly known as Kesben FC before changing its name to Mediama Sporting Club in January 2011. Kesben was founded in 2002 for Mediama Football Club, established in 2008 as a Ghana Division 3 club. In 2010, the club failed in its initial attempt to qualify for the Premier League. This led to the purchasing of Kesben, so they became Kesben. They became Mediama, bought the slot of Kesben. But here's the conversation: they have never played in CAF competitions before. They've won the CAF. They won the CAF Champions League last year. They just concluded the season. That was their best ever season, in the Ghanaian Premier League.
The Ghana
Premier League rather. They won the Ghanaian Premier League, Ghanaian FA Cup 2013-2015. Won the Ghanaian Super Cup in 2015, but they have never been in any CAF competition, and they qualified this season. That's due to the fact that they won their first ever Ghanaian Premier League title. Now, UT, they take on fellow newborn babies, in quotes, Remo Stars, who are here for the first time, but not in Africa for the first time because they were in the CAF Competitions Cup last year for the very first time in their history. So, looking at Mediama Sporting Club, Remo Stars, tale of
two newbies.
Exactly. So, which newbie should get the win? Bearing in mind the Remo Stars have got experience, at least in Africa, over with Mediama Sporting Club.
Absolutely. I think they've got experience playing in CAF competition before. But then there is something behind, winning your domestic league title it gives you more extra boost and morale that you can actually go as far as, going to the continent and actually doing well as well. I mean, over time we've always talked about, underdogs in a particular tournament. And we may just likely see them pulling a stunner against Remo Stars as well. If Remo Stars do not, execute their game plan to perfection. Remo Stars, quite experienced side, did very well, dominant in Nigerian Premier League. But then you can't actually overall, evict the fact that, the Ghanaian side, with the title they won last season, they can also spark some level of surprises in this particular preliminary stage. They want to go through the group stage, and if you want to go there, you have to do better in the preliminary round. So I'm also expecting a very huge game between Remo Stars and the reigning champions of the Ghanaian Premier League.
Plateau United, was it Plateau United? Yes, it was Plateau United, fresher from winning the NPFL, went to CAF, they bundled them out of the competition.
Well,
so
it depends on who they met. Aqua United too, it was the same.
Aqua United, CR Belouizdad in Algeria. So it goes beyond just winning your league. Experience counts in competitions like this. Remo Stars have got that.
Yeah,
right?
I think side by side, Remo Stars are more experienced because when you get to these CAF competitions and you're beaten, especially in the second leg, you know what it means and all the antics. Because no matter how you want to talk about CAF football, you can't separate the antics that's happened just about the football.
Drama.
All the drama, from the airport to the hotels, to the food you eat, to
switching off the lights in training grounds, locking you up in the hotel, the fans,
to the fans chanting beside you,
throwing juju on you and stuff like that.
Remo Stars are playing away from on the first leg.
Yeah, they're playing away.
It's good that YouTube has a way of giving us.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
I hope you have it your way.
I'm happy, Murray. I'm happy. Because last season it was basically about Nigerian side playing the second leg away from home. And we saw what happened to Rivers United in the CAF Champions League. So I'm really hoping second leg would make a lot of sense. And Remo Stars, they got the experience last year. The Ghanaian side, top side, I must say, especially when you win the Ghanaian league.
Right.
You're top side, but come on. Experience comes in.
Take a bite of this conversation because, I'm not going to let Blyden just go like that, make such a statement, a conspiracy theory, and go like that. Now, Blyden is always saying that our teams should play the first legs away from home.
Yeah.
So we are a lot less under pressure in the second leg, right? Because he believes that if we play the first leg at our home, when we travel over there for the second leg, they just do anything to us and they win. He's given us examples in his own right just to buttress his very bogus claims, right? But my perspective has always been, if you do your homework well, whether you're playing at home or away, you're going to get victories. Look at Yanga Football Club, Young Africans of Tanzania.
Definitely.
Came to you the first leg, defeated Rivers United at the Nest of Champions, traveled over there, had little or less to do. So what happens to quality and playing the game with intention to win, even at both legs?
Well, I would understand the antics behind Blyden's decision, but I feel it doesn't really count in competitions as flexible as this, because this is the highest level, obviously. So, whether you're playing away from home or at home, it doesn't make any sense to me, basically, because you rightly said
competition flexible as this. Man,
of course
this competition is not flexible at all.
Now, it depends on your definition of flexibility.
Definitely.
So what do you define as flexibility in this context?
Well, I'm talking about playing teams that are not in your country. I mean, you get to meet other teams as well. I mean, the officiating looks quite favorable.
Now, I'll ask you, what does a team need to do to win a game in the CAF Champions League and CAF Nations Cup?
You have to be serious about whatever competition you're playing, whichever team you're playing against. You have to be
How
very
much
serious.
is the influence of the home and the away in winning games?
It's about the fans, obviously.
Just the fans, right?
Just the
nothing
fans,
more.
The support of the fans. I feel that's where Blyden is coming from. Because if you have the support of the home fans, certainly he can actually spoil your team up to do everything, every single thing when you're playing at home as
Blyden.
UT sounds like a born-again Christian who doesn't believe in anything, juju and the rest. This is Africa.
Maybe he is.
Maybe he is. Come on. He's not experienced some of these things. But this is Africa. Lots of things happen. But here's my conversation about it, Mari. I'm not even talking in cases of juju in this one. The conversation is this. When you are so good and better than other teams, it makes for reading. But this competition is called the Champions League and Europa League, the Confederations Cup, meaning champions of all the countries.
Yeah.
So you don't have too much superiority in terms of quality over the other team. The margin is so slim. It's a conversation. So that's my base point.
It even makes it more interesting.
Exactly. So here's the problem. You and I can fight almost at the same level, for example, but you have different backups when you're at home, especially in the second leg. So many antics. Let me use a case study like you're fighting. And now I come to your home. I see your elder brothers. They are big, all of them. And I'm coming to fight you. Man, I'm already scared. So intimidating. In Africa,
but you'd also come to my home.
Yeah.
You'd also come to my home. You see my other brothers too. Why can't you? It's a level playing field for anybody.
This is it. It's a psychological thing. The first leg seemed a little bit at par. Let's try to play the football. So the consequence isn't that much. After the first leg, I lost probably 2-0. Remember, we're almost at par in terms of performance. I lost almost 2-0. I know I can beat you. And I can intimidate you. I can do everything to turn up the result and make it 3-0. And even the pitch can be against you.
Perhaps Blyden is actually talking about other antics.
Blyden is going spiritual. Just forget it. All right, so let's talk about the CAF Champions League for the preliminary draws. Bendel Insurance will take on Algerian side ASO Schlef. Should they win, they'll take on North African side RS Berkane to qualify. Interesting. This is the first time in a long time Insurance are getting a chance to compete on the continent when there used to be their glory days. For Rivers United, they have been drawn by for the first round, and that's due to the fact that they went all the way to the quarterfinals last season. So they've told them, you guys are a big side. Chill. Let the people that wants to fight and come and meet you. And the two teams fighting to meet Rivers United are Eto'o Filante of Burkina Faso and Zinguncho of Senegal. All right, so we'll talk Rivers United and Bendel Insurance later tomorrow, but that's just a story from the CAF Champions League and Competitions Cup draws held this afternoon. We wish the very best for our Nigerian sides. We hope they do the very best and show class and quality, at least qualify for the next round of the competition. I think we should take calls in 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8566. What do you make of the draws for the CAF Champions League and the Competitions Cup? Victor is the first caller. Good afternoon, Victor.
Hello, good afternoon, the Marazona.
Welcome, Victor.
Yeah, good afternoon, UT David and Clarence in the studio. Marazona, let me thank the CAF for the draws of the CAF Champions League for all the country nations that can represent in Africa 42. Well, yeah. That is always a great competition. We showed what some of the clubs have been made up in Africa. But you talked about with the upper hand is always Northern Africa, who always winning and go to the wins in the final. But I thank God that this is going to be different because Enyimba and Raymond also represent from Nigeria to do best to go and play because the league here in Nigeria is what to look out for. Look at some of the players here. The NFF, the IMC should do best to take their referees, best players. The sponsors do well. That's my take. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victor, for talking to us. Good afternoon, Mr. Easy. Comes in so swiftly.
Thank you for analysis. It's nice to hear from you people. I want to disagree with some of your analysts there, and I also agree with some of the analysts there also.
Wow.
Let me say it like this. Enyimba, our own clubs draw in a certain others club about the plenary draw of the CAF champion and our CAF Confederation Cup respectively. And just as Europe, it doesn't matter if you play at home or if you play away. And what it's all about is for you to take a control of the first leg, whatever it happens. And let me take a case, experience, as long as the World Champions League is concerned. And Liverpool went to Camp Nou and collect 3-0. Everyone said that it's all over. Barcelona went to Anfield and collect 4-0. And that is the quality we are talking about. It doesn't matter if you are playing away or if you are playing home. If our club side in Nigeria here have the quality, have what it takes, there is nothing wrong.
Thank you. Thank you, Victor. Thank you very much, Mr. Easy.
And also defense.
Thank you, Mr. Easy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Easy. Your thoughts appreciated. Well valued too. Tallest on the line.
Mari, good afternoon.
Alpha.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Welcome.
I'm fine. Mari, we have seen the draws that have come, so we are waiting for the game to restart. For Enyimba, from what is that club again? RC Benghazi from
Yes.
Libya.
Yes.
They're a very top club. For Remo Stars, well, in fact, I'm giving Remo Stars over 7.5 in that game. Remo Stars did not win that club from Ghana. I know that Remo Stars is not a football club in Nigeria. They will drop money because that's the easiest draw. That's the only Nigerian that has the easiest draw in that game. Understand that they are the only one that has the easiest draw.
All right. All right.
They should do everything possible. They should do everything possible to rise to school off.
Thank you.
That game.
Thank you so much.
I'm wishing them all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, apart from for the Remo Stars game, apart from a chance to qualify for the next round, it's a chance at superiority. Who has the best jollof? That conversation is back again. Nigeria versus Ghana.
Started.
In terms of jollof, gonna be interesting. Good afternoon, Victor.
Yeah, very good afternoon.
Well, Victor.
I want to wish you a
Victor, you did sleep?
Yeah, I'm not feeling fine, actually.
Oh, my brother. Get well soon. Sorry.
Right. Okay, I want to wish the staff all the best of luck. And secondly, please, Mary, please just update me what much the Ilanga and the Alex Telex. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much. If I got you correctly, Elanga is going to Nottingham Forest and Alex Telles is in Ireland already. That's the conversation. Well, let's talk Nigerians and the performance. So far, so good abroad. Samuel Chukwueze will be the first name, but that's going to be after this call. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Welcome, name and location.
Okay, my name is Abasi Freke, calling from Uyo.
Welcome, Abasi Freke.
Yes, thank you for having me. I actually want to ask a question. Just like in the Premier League in England, you know, these clubs, they always have this backdoor staff, you know, people that...
Yeah, backroom staff.
Yeah, backroom staff or backroom coaches, you know, those that work on psychology and all this stuff. Do we have them in our own Nigerian...
In the NPFL?
Yeah, the NPFL.
I'm likely to check that out for us.
I like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Was there enough money to get the goalkeeper coach? Right, well, let's look at transfers as it relates to Nigerians. Victor Boniface, by the way, has joined Bayer Leverkusen, and that's a good story. Kudos to the man. We hope he shows class and quality. Scored over 20 goals last season for USG in Belgium, and he's moved on. And that's a beautiful story. But the next story is Samuel Chukwueze, who is set to move to AC Milan, one of the biggest clubs in Europe, if you want to look at history and heritage. But there's a sad story, guys, and that's the fact that he would not be traveling with the AC Milan side to the USA for preseason. That's due to the fact that it will take time for the club to gather a work permit and visas for the man to travel to the USA, and it will take too long. So instead, the club has said after signing him, after officially getting the man's signature done and dusted, they'll let him train at Milanello, the club's training ground, until purely side returns from preseason. That's an interesting conversation. Will it affect his performance in the club? Well, we never can tell. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. UT, 25 seconds. What's exceptional quality? What exceptional feature is Chukwueze taking to AC Milan?
I think it's bringing some level of dynamism in terms of, creativity and then some level of dribbles as well, because it's also good with the ball. I mean, finding those pockets, picking those passes in the final third. I mean, connecting will be between the midfield and, of course, the strikers up front. But, I mean, we've always talked about where he fits in very well with Stefano Pioli's side, judging from the fact that he likes a 3-5-2 formation. I mean, up front. So, with the addition of Samuel Chukwueze, he may just likely change his tactics or formation, if you like, to a 4-3-3-1. So, we might expect
4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1.
4-3-3 rather. 4-3-3.
So you don't sound like Todd Bowley.
So we'll have Samuel Chukwueze on the right flank. But there is another concern as well, because Christian Pulisic has also joined up with the side. So Who is the preferred starter between Christian Pulisic and Samuel Chukwueze?
One is right-footed and one is left-footed.
Both can actually slot in on the right flank of the team as well. So it looks like Samuel Chukwueze may just likely have some level of competition, not just for himself, but with the team as well.
Like AC Milan unveiled the man, we'll talk about that conversation, but I want to take a bite, 25 seconds, please.
I'm not interested in what he brings to AC Milan right now. I want to see what AC Milan gives Samuel Chukwueze moving forward.
Right.
At Villarreal, he was a young lad, moved from Diamond Academy to Villarreal. As always been, there's always this tendency of a young player, youth player that grew. And he's grown to a state now. For the first time in his career in European football, he's changed club and moved to, let's say, a higher level.
Yeah.
And the demand is higher now. I want to see a better Samuel Chukwueze moving forward that represents Nigeria, who's accurate with the ball in terms of shooting and creating those chances in the final third. The demand comes and the pressure, and when talking about competition in that mix, as UT has mentioned, because you have Pulisic, you have all these other players.
Yeah, this youngster scored a remarkable strike against Real Madrid. Luka Romero is his name. That goal is a goal.
Definitely.
So I want to see him grow. I want to see him become a better player.
Okay, let's talk about the FIFA Women's World Cup. It's getting in very thick, very vast, very interesting too. The latest stories from the FIFA Women's World Cup from yesterday. Italy got the better of Argentina. A goal to do. Germany. Oh my goodness. They made nonsense of our AFCON finalists. 6 massive goals to nil. Well, Brazil defeated Panama by 4 goals to nil. And Ari Borges, in her debut, first World Cup game ever, scored a hat-trick and, of course, was Brazil's best player on the night. But this morning, something even more interesting happened. Colombia plays South Korea. And, Blyden, this is for you. Linda Caicedo, that youngster, her first of the 17 World Cup game, she scored. She was promoted to the under-20 team a couple of months later, scored there, and she was just too good. Promoted to the national team, scored again. You want to talk about a star, a born star? This lady is a star, Blyden. In the same year, she's played for the under-17, under-20, on the national team, all at World Cup level, and she sparkles, and she plays like the great Ronaldo, Gaucho, Blyden.
Yeah, I was wondering you're not going to add that.
Oh, I have to add
First saw
that.
this lady at the under-17 game. The way she moved the ball, making nonsense of Nigeria's wingers and defenders. It's been the conversation, and you could simply see a star was born, one way or the other.
Yes.
Good with her foot.
Scored yesterday.
I think she joined one of the top clubs.
Real Madrid.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's a conversation about it. Mary, what else do you want to see? This lady is not just one for the future anymore. She's doing it at the biggest stage.
Exactly.
I love the fact that her name is Caicedo, as Chelsea are struggling to get Caicedo. But it's that conversation.
They can sign her.
Arizona, that is a World Footballer of the Year of
Material.
You know, I always make these statements. I want to make it sound so bogus. But come on, this one will happen again.
Born on 22nd of February 2005, Linda Lizeth Caicedo Alegria. Class and quality. She'd also have, by the way, let's still look at the other games you saw this morning. New Zealand, the first game they won, the second game lost to Philippines by a goal to nil. Switzerland played the golden draw against Norway. Well, so far so good, guys. There's still no win for Africa. Do we have hope in this competition, UT?
As a matter of fact, 3 African teams have already conceded 13 goals.
Hey.
13 already. I mean, the likes of Zambia and Morocco
and South Africa
being the heaviest culprits. So it looks quite concerning at this time. And we've always talked about quality and how far African teams can actually go when it comes to a big stage as the international stage, which is the World Cup. Morocco did very well during the WAFCON, went as far as going to the finals, eventually losing.
No, there's no intent to cut you short, UT. What do we need to do to be able to compete with these teams? What do we need to do to get to that level? Because it obviously looks like the margins are still very wide. Two are still poles and miles apart. What does Africa need to do to get to top level?
Mary, before I talk about what we need to do, let me just do a little banter here. I remember we talking about Morocco, and all of you guys were talking about Morocco. Oh, scintillating football.
We haven't talked about Zambia.
The way they played like Europeans.
No vex.
I can see. You cannot be a European if you're not. Mary.
Right.
That's the conversation.
Right.
And either when they get to the World Cup, they'll be beaten, black and blue. Because that game lacked strength. Look at the World Cup. The only thing that kept Nigeria there was experience and strength. You have to fight like an African. That's the way it has
Well,
to
the
be.
Moroccans are close to the Spanish. It's just how many miles from
also
Morocco and
apart from
Spain,
Spain.
Well,
right? So,
It's
and then,
okay. I saw Morocco at the World Cup.
What
They're
about-
fighting like Africans.
what about the Moroccan male national team?
That's what I'm talking about.
I think
At
the
the World Cup, they were not playing like Europeans. They were playing like Africans. Let's be Africans first. That's what I'm talking about.
You're right.
It's not just about the beauty of it. Let's be more natural. And the conversation will always be about development of our football, especially the women's league. I've talked about it. Women's football is a virgin ground in Africa. It has not been tapped. We don't pay attention to it. Look at Nigeria. How many years ago, if you put Nigeria side by side with England, Nigeria would beat England to nonsense. But you can't say the same thing now. England are European champions, a top side. Nigeria can't even stand that power. I just hope that we do the right things moving forward. Without doing the right things, we'll still find ourselves in this position in Africa.
That's a conversation. Well, Nigeria's got a hope. At least we haven't considered any goal yet. We haven't lost as well. Well, let us see if we will. Well, I hope it's not as crazy. Like, that's a conversation from here. We'll talk about the Super Falcons tomorrow because I've got a game on Thursday against the Matildas of Australia. But let's move on to talk transfers. Well, before then, let's take calls. 0222311011 and 0817-624-8565. Good afternoon. Please don't flash me again. This is a warning. Good afternoon. That's a delight to note, though. Victor.
Hello, Arizona.
Yes, Victor.
Yeah, let me talk about you guys. Arizona has been a very nice upliftment for him. You know, players in Nigeria, like Victor Osimhen, has been doing well. You have seen what has happened. So we are going to the new club and do well to make that club what that club sees in you. Let me say for the FIFA Women's World Cup Marathon, it's really a shock and for all the African representatives. I ask myself, what were they going there for and what will here our own responsibility for the Super Falcon Marathon? Let them try their best to score goal. It is only goal that will make them to serve. So that's my thing. Thank you, Fabi.
Thank you very much, Victor. Top Gunner enters now. Good afternoon, Top Gunner. Welcome.
Mary, it's quite sad. African representatives on the Open World Cup are fumbling. African champion Morocco, so Deboran, fumble. All eyes now on Nigerian Falcons. I pray they carry the flag. I wonder none of our under 17 ladies are among the Super Falcons. Mary, since Philippines winning New Zealand, they have thrown the group wide open. That's the picture of the game.
You're right.
Mary is busy. Players is busy, Mary, by entering the contract negotiation with the Saudi team. That time was declared the offer. He's not a retiree.
Thank you.
I'm still waiting to hear from you. How NFL share the
Yes, Top Gunner. Yes, Top Gunner. I know you gave me a yellow card for that this morning. I would not get a red card for that. I definitely not. So we'll talk about it in the course of the show. Thank you. Thank you so much for talking to us. Just 1 year left in his contract. He has refused to sign an extension with PSG, and the team wants to sell him. He was not selected for the preseason tour in Japan, of course. And PSG wants to sell the man right now, rather than see him leave for nothing. The record for most expensive player in the history of football is Neymar dos Santos. Came for £200 million from Barca to PSG back in 2017. And that's the story. Kylian Mbappe as well will have to command 2 of the 3 highest fees paid for a player. He left Monaco to join PSG for £166 million back in 2017. Now, I'll start with you, UT. Before we read out the money, because when Blyden sent me the picture, the breakdown, I don't know, I felt somehow. But we don't talk about how I felt. Let's talk about the offer. First of all, it's a 1-year contract. Now we know that Mbappe wants to go to Real Madrid next season.
Definitely.
That's why he wants to stay at PSG and at least end the season with them, right?
Yes.
So the Al Hilal side have said, we'll give you 700 million pounds at the end of the year. Sign a 1-year contract with an option to extend if you want to stay, right? But it's a 1-year contract. You earn that amount of money, 13 million pounds, a single week. And at the end of your 1-year stay, go to your dream club. What do you make of the offer?
I think it makes absolute sense from the commercial aspect of the game and the football aspect of it as well. Because if he stays at Paris Saint-Germain, certainly it has been outlined that he's out of the picture. He's out of the plan for the season. He's out of the project. So definitely it means he won't be playing regularly at Paris Saint-Germain this coming season. And it makes absolute sense if he goes and have game time. Now, we talk about going to Real Madrid, his preferred, destination, that's the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu. Real Madrid have said nothing since he was put up for sale. It certainly shows you that they have a verbal agreement of seeing off the contract. And he also understands that if he keeps staying on the bench for next season, he will completely be match rusty. And God knows when he will come up clutch again for his side if he makes that move to Real Madrid next season. So I think on the commercial aspect of it, he earns humongous amounts of money if he goes to Saudi Arabia. And secondly, he will also be playing every single week to ensure that he keeps fit ahead of the move next season.
Now, Blyden, let me read what you said to me because you have to feel what I felt. 600 million pounds a single year, that year. 50 million pounds a month. 1.6 million pounds a day.
Hold on, 50 million pounds a month.
Blyden, wait.
Go ahead.
Blyden, wait.
That's interesting.
I want to cry. Now, 68.5 thousand pounds every hour. 1.1 thousand pounds a minute. And 19 pounds a second. 19 pounds a second is 19,000 naira.
Every second.
So Mbappe has just gotten 19,000 naira. That's if you are signing a contract. Now, this man has been called a prisoner of money over time because of, the offer PSG gave him last year and all of that. Look at this youngster. The Al Hilal offer is so enticing, attractive because it's not holding him down.
And flexible as well.
Still has a chance to go to where he wants to go to next year. You're Kylian Mbappe. Would you go there?
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Tell us why, Blyden.
I wouldn't. I'm not a prisoner of money. I think Mbappe is beginning to repent from being a prisoner of money. But what I don't like about all this thing is that, okay, let me start the way Quera would say. This is Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
The way he talks about
Declan Rice.
But this is Kylian Mbappe, the best footballer in the world at the moment. Sadly, he plays for Paris Saint-Germain and all the debacle. When I look at all this debacle, Mari, here's the part I do not like from Paris Saint-Germain. What is the aim of all this?
Exactly.
Let the man go. The man wants to go. Let him go. I understand they're trying to get money out of it because this is what happened. The letter Kylian Mbappe sent to Paris Saint-Germain was in 2022. The letter leaked now. So they were aware of the letter that Kylian Mbappe since 2022 had told Paris Saint-Germain that he'll be leaving the club, he won't sign an extension.
Yeah.
So all these things they're doing here, I do not get it why. The only difference is that letter leaked is in a public domain and Real Madrid understood that this man will be leaving, so there's no point being in a rush. Let's get him for free. And Paris Saint-Germain are thinking probably we could just get money off this man, but moving to Saudi is not part of the deal.
Now,
let me add one part before you come and marry.
Yeah.
The part I want to add is everyone says Kylian Mbappe might sit out and be on the bench all through for Paris Saint-Germain. He's not going to be on the bench.
I was going there. In the past 5 years, PSG's best player. Now, in the past 5 years, they've gotten Messi, they've gotten Neymar, they've gotten Edison Cavani, who was there for them. Mauro Icardi has been there for the team. Loads of names in that team. But the past 5 years has been a 24-year-old Kylian Mbappe. Can PSG afford to let this man sit on the bench trying to struggle to score goals? This man has been the highest goal scorer every single season. And now we're talking about
player of the season every
single season. So you're talking about you want to make money off this man. But as at April this year, PSG recorded a loss of 367 million euros. So is it Mbappe's money that would render you useless? That's the question. Let this man play for you. He helps you this season that's coming. He goes for free. What's the deal?
I understand, but I think if you are the owner of Paris Saint-Germain, you own Kylian Mbappe in your team. Would you rather let him leave for free?
What about the losses? What about the losses? What about the losses? They've spent money getting Messi.
What I don't get that UT is talking and many people are saying is this: it's a contract.
I
Yes.
understand it's a
It's
contract.
not a force he has to sign a new
No,
contract.
Yes.
I am not saying
And
he
then
should sign a contract.
making it a force he
You're
has to sign
forcing
a
the
new
ball.
contract.
No. I'm not saying he should.
Players, you see before you come in, players leave clubs on free
I understand.
every year. So why is Mbappe's case so different?
Well, you understand the fact that Mbappe is one of their best players. And if they want to cash in on him, it will be humongous.
Lionel
I understand why
Messi left for free.
he left for
The
free.
best footballer in
He was offered a
generation.
new contract too.
So at this point now, I could understand the reason why Paris Saint-Germain are acting that way. Because they don't
Right.
want to let him go for free.
For me,
that's
they're
just
too
the
reactive.
story.
They're too reactive.
Now, here's the
doesn't
thing.
make sense.
Here's the thing, Blyden. You know, let's bring in a lady to the conversation. You know,
The ladies' man, eh?
Yeah, Blyden.
Go ahead.
You know these things now. So
know.
maybe you get the lady over to your side, then take care of her, spend a lot of money on her, and of course make her feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
All for the lady. All you want the lady to do is to get married to you, and she says no. What do you do?
Mari just brought this conversation, and it makes
Marriage
a lot
will
of
be
sense.
painful.
It makes some sense from that angle because
and that's-
all
You
Paris
would
Saint-Germain,
respect her decision and let her go.
all Paris Saint-Germain was saying is, after all we've
done
your
for
family,
you.
after all we've
Marry
done,
will-
come on, the lady
Marry
want-
will-
the lady doesn't-
Marry
the lady
will-
doesn't want to stay.
Marry
She doesn't
will-
want to
Respect her
stay.
decision and let
It
her
will
go.
be painful.
Yes, it's going to be painful, but
business.
you're not going to force anybody.
It's business.
Thank you very much, guys. Well, let's bite on top of the story before we bounce this afternoon. And of course, we take calls in. Well, the NFF yesterday declared that it has nothing to hide in the £1.7 million approved by the federal government for the Super Falcons participation at the World Cup. NFF's declaration came just as former Green Eagles winger Diego Cadela would charge the football house to be ready to account for how it spent the money. Now, $1.7 million approved by President Tinubu for the Super Falcons participation at the World Cup. And here's how the money is going to be going. Of course, some other stakeholders were of the opinion that the federal government doesn't have any business approving such an amount of money for the World Cup, given the fact that FIFA already given them $1.5 million to prepare the team, or pay $30,000 to each of the players. And of course, that's the conversation. Now, let's look at the breakdown of the money.
Ignites the world of football. Join the football community here on Planet 101 FM Uyo.
Two 1011 and 0817-624-8565. Your Kylian Mbappe, do you go to Saudi Arabia, stay 1 year, chill, and go to Madrid next season? Good afternoon, welcome.
Hello, Mari.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. Name and location.
Yeah, this is Chigos. You're calling from Abia State.
Yeah, Chigozie, how is Abia State today?
Abia State is very fine.
Please go ahead, Chigozie.
Please, for Mbappe, if I'm Mbappe, I will move to Saudi Arabia
2 seconds.
to go and make enough money.
So, for Samuel Chukwueze, I wish him the best so that we move from a similar next season.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chigos here for talking to us. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Yes, if you're Domingo.
If you're Domingo, calling from Northwest, Arizona, only speak of the Samuel Chukwueze moving to AC Milan is a welcome development. You know, I know it's going to face a lot of competition. There's a good player, PSL competition. Arizona, PSG has made a decision in alliance that the Arabian side becomes Mbappe. We all know that some of the Mbappe will leave PSG. But I wonder, why can't they start planning a life without Mbappe now? The thing is that the danger in creating a monster is that one day you come against the master. PSG started all this, so they should stay the music. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for talking to us. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Chelsea rejected a bid from West Ham for Conor Gallagher. Well, West Ham brought £40 million for Conor Gallagher, 33 years of age, has 2 years left on his contract, and Chelsea rejected the deal. Oh, you see, Conor Gallagher, well, we know about valuation of players and how outrageous it is, but is it worth more than £40 million? We'll talk about that. Good afternoon, welcome. Check Facebook for us as well.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. Timothy calling from you.
Welcome, Tim.
Yeah, so on the Mbappe issue, it's strictly business for PSG, and we need to understand that it's not emotional for them. They're about to lose their best player. They're about to use a whole lot of value. Like you said, the club has money over the past 1 year, so naturally they're going to want to replace that. Yes, you let Messi go for free, but Messi is not Mbappe, and we should remember that once Mbappe leaves, you need a replacement in terms of value and in terms of what the guy can do on the pitch. And there is nobody that is going to bring the kind of endorsements and money that Mbappe brings to PSG right now. So they don't want to lose all out. If I were them, yes, I'll take £1 billion from Saudi Arabia and you know, cash off the guy. That's just my take. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Your thoughts really appreciated. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's the second time. I want to know how Liverpool are doing in the transfer market and what is the Fabinho exit from Liverpool. And let me also advise our PSG that it is them that started big spending. Now that other people are showing them how to spend the money, let them also feel the pain. If Mbappe likes, if he go,
Thank you.
so that they collect some of the money. And if
Thank you, Mr. Easy.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Barry, good afternoon.
Yeah, name and location.
Donald,
All right, welcome, Donald.
If I'm back there, no need for me to wait for the PSG again. I'll move out 1 year, we'll come back to Real Madrid. Please, for Arsenal, I don't know what that boy is doing in that Arsenal team, Pepe. Let that boy leave that club. There's no need of that boy staying in that club again. Doesn't work anything. Please.
All right, thank you very much. Nobody has come for him yet. That's a sad story. Well, yeah, Manchester United will make an offer for Atalanta youngster Rasmus Højlund, but they would not go beyond £60 million, so they don't get the UEFA hammer. Well, UT, Facebook comments quickly.
Well, from the live feed, first up, Don Hope Ifyong says, great job. And Daniel Moses said, good afternoon, sports crew. God bless you guys for always making my day so great with sports. Please update me with latest transfer news on Chelsea. Emmanuel says, good afternoon, guys. It's Amy Boy. I'm happy to be back. It's been a while. Welcome. Basida Otube says, Aqua United bidding for Mbappe. And the penultimate people now, Sam Prosper says, keep going.
That's it for the show. Thank you. Well, as we bounce, Sofian Amrabat has reportedly reached an agreement to join Manchester United on a 5-year deal. It's a conversation for tomorrow. Thank you so much, Bladden, for being a part of the conversation.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, and of course, thank you, IT, for UT. Did I say IT?
I wouldn't know if you're changing my name.
Thank you, UT, for being a part of the conversation. Let's see if we can call up somebody whose birthday is today. She's a colleague of ours. Oh, my goodness. Her name is IT Exquisite. She used to handle the Cooker and Bar show.
Oh.
Yeah, had a baby a couple of weeks ago. Happy birthday to Akbar. You have our very best wishes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, the very troublesome IT.
Yeah, wonderful personality.
Yeah. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:30 to 8. And of course, 3 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Devina Praise comes up with the news on the hour by 4 p.m. And from there, we'll have the Rush Hour Show, of course, she's there. And Simon Oko, Sucre Papito, 8 to 10 for the Happy Hour Show. So there's a lot in store for you, courtesy of Planet Radio 101.1 FM. From me, it's a ciao. Have a lovely day. And my name is Marizona. Never forget that.